Hey guys, what's going on? It's your host Steve with Geek Boulevard. I recently got to check out Bob Marley, One Love, and as far as biopics go, it knocks it out of the park. Now, to clarify, I don't have too much knowledge of Bob Marley and his history, but I know a little bit of his music, more or less the more popular hits, of course, but that's why I wanted to see this, so I can get a little more insight to who Bob Marley was as a person, not just to the world, but to his friends and family, and how important the message of love and peace was to him. There's a short intro from his son Ziggy Marley that plays before the movie starts, clarifying how important this project was, not to just him, but the entire Marley family. And he went on to say that he was on set every single day to make sure that this tribute to this legendary icon was realized as best as possible, and I think they definitely achieved that with this film. The film is directed by Ronaldo Marcus Green. It is rated PG-13 with a runtime of 1 hour and 47 minutes. There's a lot that I love about this film, starting with our main cast of Kingsley Ben-Adir as Bob Marley and Lashana Lynch as his wife Rita. Now, Ben-Adir, he really nailed down the mannerisms of Marley, down to the way he performs on stage and just jumps around as he's kind of feeling the music. It was very spot on. He really just encapsulated the character. And I'm sure he felt a lot of pressure being in Marley's shoes, but he took it in stride. And he really just crushed it, absolutely crushed it. The chemistry between him and Lashana Lynch in this movie is just so real, so undeniably believable. And you see the struggle that both of them have come from and are still going through as this movie just delves into their lives in Jamaica before all the fame and their tough upbringing. It goes into a lot more detail with that. My favorite sequence, or I guess portion of the film, was after he is shot and this fear of death, not necessarily for himself, but for his family, that this could happen again. You know, he barely escaped with his life, and the same happened with his wife as well. It puts this drive in him to deliver a more powerful message of peace and unification. And it sparks this new idea for an album to reach a more mainstream audience. And that was his album Exodus. And I really enjoyed that part of the film and how Exodus kind of came into being. Now, I'm not sure how much truth there was to the inception of Exodus as an album. Sometimes, you know, biopics, even though they're based on real people and real events, they do tend to dramatize a little bit of it to kind of make it a little bit more palatable for the audience. So I'm not exactly sure how much truth there was to the overall making of the album. But it was really cool to see the inception of Bob Marley's arguably most popular album and his most accessible for people who had never heard of reggae back then. When it comes to delivering a message of peace, you know, you have to try to reach everyone, and they surely did that with Exodus. Now, this film has really beautiful shots of Jamaica, and obviously it makes sense to shoot in Jamaica to give that more authentic feel. And you know, obviously that's where Marley grew up. That was his home, and it was edited very well by Pamela Martin. The sequences of Marley in London had a very different color palette to them as opposed to Jamaica, and I admired the differentiation of course, with the London segments being more kind of blue in color and Jamaica having a little bit more vibrancy and yellow tones. There's a transition shot where Marley is on stage that I can't stop geeking out about. And there's this glow on his face, and it cuts to a shot of him as a young boy. This is a flashback of him running out of a crop that's all set on fire. And then it cuts back to him as he's looking at this fire, which gives this, you know, amber orange glow on his face. And then it fades into the camera just staying on him as the environment changes to the stage. I just thought it was a very seamless transition, and it was so smooth, so well done, and I just can't stop geeking out about it. I just love that kind of stuff. The film jumps around a lot between Marley's past and present, but it never felt jarring. It wasn't confusing in any way. There was a clear distinction between past and present. here, and those scenes were great as well and provided a lot more context. The use of music, especially here, was used so well. A lot of the hits were used obviously throughout, like Exodus, I Shot the Sheriff, Three Little Birds, the list just goes on. And some live versions as well when he's performing on stage, like No Woman, No Cry. There's not much else to say here. I think this film really delivers the message of uniting the world and having love and equality for one another, and what that means, and that's only more evident in today's world that we need that more than anything right now. Overall, I'm giving Bob Marley, One Love a score of 5 out of 5. With above and beyond performances from Ben Adir and Lashana Lynch, striking cinematography and editing and use of Marley's greatest hits come together to deliver a powerful message of loving one another and uniting for peace. With all that down though, what did you think of Bob Marley, One Love? Did it do him justice? What are your top 5 Bob Marley songs? Also, what's your favorite biopic that you've seen of a historical figure that you really admire? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed what you're watching, and sub to the channel. Stay in the know for when I drop my next video. Until next time folks, keep it classy and keep it geeky.
This is my message to you.